Once your Victorian haunted house drawing is outlined and you've added details like windows and doors and designs for texture, and you have a horizon line and a ground area where your house is sitting on, then we can go ahead and add some different materials to our haunted houses. We're going to start by using some colored pencils to add shading around the edges of the house. And we're going to use mostly neutral colors like blacks, grays, maybe a little bit of brown, and I have a yellow here because I want to use that on the windows to show that the light is on and it's glowing inside. I also will add a little yellow on the moon. I might add a little bit of green on my grass, but we're really going to limit our colors to using mostly neutral colors. When we're adding color with our colored pencil, we're going to work on shading and getting different values. Remember, when you press hard with a colored pencil, you can get a dark value or a dark color. And when you let go of your pressure and you press lightly, you get a light value. So on the edges of my haunted house here, you can see that I have a dark value and then a lighter value when I get into the middle of the shape. That makes the edges really pop out. One way that you can do this is if you're coloring with your colored pencil, you can just color very lightly around the entire shape that you want to color in. So I'm just putting a light value here with my black colored pencil. Then it looks pretty flat and it doesn't really pop out because I don't have this dark edge. So I can go back along the edges and press a little bit harder to get a dark value and blend it into the light value that I already had in that area. So I'm just going along the edge and pressing down hard to get a dark value. And it really makes that side pop out. Now I'd also want to do this on the top of the shape as well and make that part stand out too. Another way you can do this is starting at the edge, pressing down hard to get a dark value, letting go of your pressure when you get into the middle to get a light value. Whatever way works best for you, but remember that the edges of things should be darker so that they stand out more. It will give your house more of a three-dimensional look. You can also color in areas that you want to stand out more, a darker value, like I'm coloring in these shutters here, a dark black value, and then they really stand out against the lighter black that's in the middle of the shape. I'm gonna go ahead and color in the rest of my haunted house and the ground. We're going to be painting around our house in the sky, so don't use colored pencil on your sky. Leave that area white for now until you're ready to paint. One thing that you can do with your colored pencils is layer and blend the colors together. So here in the pathway, I used brown and black to make a different shade. So here on the rock on the side of the cliff, I'm going to do the same thing. Color with brown, and then I can layer black on top to make it stand out here from the ground. We don't want everything in our drawing to be one shade. We're trying to get different values and blend our colors together. Remember that you also want the edges to be darker, so here I'm shading and making a darker value at the edge of the cliff here so that it stands out. Here's an edge here, so I need to make that stand out by adding a darker value. Then I'm going to use black and layer it on top to make a darker shade of brown. last step is painting the sky. So the sky is anything that's above the horizon line. So from here, above the line behind the house and around the moon and the tree. For painting the sky, we have 3 colors. We have black, in the middle we have violet or purple, and on the other end we have a dark blue. You can use these colors however you would like. You can use 1, you could use all 3, you could use 2, you could blend them all together. When you start painting, make sure you get a messy mat and a water cup, and then you just need to wake up the colors by adding a little bit of water to the paint. Now I'm gonna start with black, and the more black that I add, the darker it will be. So if you want it to be lighter, then just add a little bit more water. I'm going to add black around the edge of my drawing, and then I'm going to add purple and blue. I'm trying to be careful not to get it inside of my house drawing and just go around the edges. By blending the colors together, you can make a cloudy, spooky sky effect. Notice that I'm adding color while the other color on the paper is still wet. I'm adding a little bit of purple here, and then I can drop in some black, and that's called using a wet on wet watercolor technique, because I'm adding water to an already wet area of my artwork. Then I can drop some purple in here. This will only work if your paper is still wet. Okay, so I am all done painting my sky. When you're done, bring your messy mat with your wet painting to a drying rack so that your artwork can dry. And then you can take your water cup and your paintbrush to the sink area. So you can take your brush and put it into the dirty brush cup, and then you can pour out your dirty water. Turn on the water to rinse out your cup. Once it's pretty clean, then you can stack it in the box that says clean water cups. Or sometimes Miss Moore might want you to refill your water cup for the next class. If she asks you to do that, then you're going to fill your water cup up about halfway and just put it here next to the sink. So I would fill it up about halfway, and then I could just set it over here. I hope you have fun working on your Victorian haunted house. I can't wait to see how yours turns out.